Do you remember? Do you remember when I said something about taking it easy in the winter? What's up, YouTube family? Gerald Greenlee here with Clean and Green. Wait a minute. We're not going to look at a lawn. Huh. We're going to look at a deck. Do you remember? Do you remember when I said something about taking it easy in the winter? Did I say that? I may have already said this in another video. A gentleman came by to church the other day, and he's kind of neighbors to the guy I built the deck for last year. And I've had a couple of people call me. Now one of them, I think the price I gave him, it was $6,700, but he wanted a deck built with a roof on it, and his budget was about $5,000. And I had told him early on, about what I figured it was going to be. But I said, if you are okay, I'll get you a good quote as of now. This was 3 months ago. And so he's like, yeah, go ahead and give me a quote. Well, when I gave him the quote, it was within a few $100s of what I just kind of ballparked him. And then he's like, well, that's outside my budget. Yada, 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 right? And that's fine. That's fine. And so I told him, I said, well, I had told him originally, I said, look, there's other guys that do this. I said, there's guys that do this for a living, and they're probably going to be more cost effective, Man, I can build a deck, but when I do it, I have to think about it, scratch my head. Because it's not something I do every day. I'm not the most efficient at it by any stretch of the imagination. What takes me 20 hours, a guy that does that stuff every day probably do it, honestly, probably do it in half the time, no kidding. So even if his hourly rate's higher, but his he's twice as efficient, and if he does this all the time, he's probably got a deal with one of the suppliers around here, and so he's probably getting at least a 10, maybe a 15% discount on the material, and then he probably charges a customer regular price, where I'm gonna pay regular price and then mark it up some just to cover unexpected expenses. So he said, well, I looked at that when you built, and he said, I went and asked a guy at a lumber yard about recommending a contractor to do it, and he said, I told a guy at the lumber yard that from what I can tell, now this is gonna sound like I'm bragging, I'm really not, but the guy that I built the deck for told him that I was the best one around. If you want it done right, you call him. And so he tells the guy that's at the lumber yard, and the guy at the lumber yard tells him, he said, well, I'll be honest, if you got a guy that'll do it right and you know what you're getting, he said, I'd just pay him what he wants. So anyway, he wanted me to give him a price on it, even though he knew I was probably going to be more expensive. Well, and I told him it'd probably be November before I could even get to it. Now, he may end up calling me back, but as of about 6 weeks ago, he just said that was out of his price range. He had about $5,000 to budget. My price, I think, was $6,800. And so I told him, I said, hey, that's no problem. I said, now, if you want us to scale it back some, make it a little smaller, and I can give you $5,000 worth of deck if that's what you want, But anyway, so I'm riding up here now to look at nothing. I'm probably not gonna get out with a camera because I just met this gentleman, and so his issue is his steps broke. I guess the stringer on the steps, I don't know if they're metal or wood, so he can't use his front steps, and rather than replace them, he just wants to build a deck out there with steps on it. So I'm gonna go up here and kind of see what he wants. I'm gonna give him a ballpark, and then if we're anywhere in the neighborhood of you know, what he's expected to pay, then I'll give him an actual price. So it's kind of the same thing with a lawn. You know, somebody calls me, hey, I got 2 acres, and you say, well, you know, if it's 2 acres that's been maintained, depending on the difficulty of it, you're somewhere between, you know, probably $120, $150 a cut. You know, and if they go, okay, then we can go look at it and go, okay, this yard falls into 140, you know, and they're already expecting that. But, you know, if you don't give some kind of expectation and you tell them, yeah, I'll come look at it, and they're thinking it's going to be $60 to get 2.5 acres cut, and the price is $170, you know, y'all are too far apart, and you've just wasted your time going out there to look at it. So definitely don't want to do that. Anyway, I'm about to pull up in here. I will, let me see here, the address, 611. I think I know which house it is, because he's got one of them fences. I don't know what you call them, but it's where they stack the boards on top of each other and make like these angles with them or whatever. He told me, he said, I'm the one that's got the such and such fence. But anyway, so there's the fence right there. Now I don't know if he wants me to come around back or if he wants me to come up front. He's standing out back there, so let me just back up and see. All right, there we go. We got him a quote done. A little old small 7x12 pressure treated deck on 4x4s with handrails, 48-inch steps. Pretty standard, you know, little small entry deck. Give enough room to set a couple chairs up there if they want to. I think, I don't know if he didn't necessarily act sticker shock. I don't think money is necessarily the issue there. I mean, I don't know, but he just said, well, let me get my wife and you know, I'll give you a call. So, and I think what it is, because I told him, I said, look, if you don't want to spend this kind of money, I'll fix your step stringer for you. It won't cost you much to do that. And he said, well, I ain't sure about the rest of it, how good a shape it's in. And I think what it is, his wife is wanting an area where she can set a couple of chairs. Right now, he's probably got like the area is probably it's probably 5x4, something like that. And he's wanting to make it about a 7x12. And you have enough room to put 2 chairs up there and leave the walkway open coming in. And I think it sounds like that's something he don't really care, but maybe his wife wants to do. So I guess he'll get with her and say, hey, you know, this is the range that we're looking at to have it done, and you know, kind of go from there. So there, you know, I don't know, there again, we'll see what they decide. I told him, like I tell everybody else, just like I told y'all a while ago, there's other people that do this. There's probably a better price out there from somebody else. And, you know, it certainly doesn't hurt to shop around. So, and I did use my high-end numbers because, to be honest, I have not looked at pressure-treated wood in several months. I don't know that I could guess what an 8-foot 4x4 is within, you know, $3 of it. I have no idea. You know, I would imagine they're probably somewhere, seemed like last time I looked, they were somewhere around $11 or $12 a piece, which is still high. But like I said, I haven't looked at them in a very, very long time. So anyway, we'll see what he says, and whatever he decides. I told him, I said, hey, look, man, it's fine with me. It ain't no hard feelings one way or another. I said, I realize that's a lot of money just to basically have a set of steps with a platform. So, you know. Anyway, that's that. So, one more thing off of my to-do list. And I got to get, on another note, I need to get my F-150 back going. I took a look at it the other day, and I thought, you know, it was running hot on me a while back. It looks to me like there's just a little pipe on it that's got a pinhole in it. Now, whether that's the whole issue or if there's more to it, you know, I don't know. I got rust in the coolant system, and I've tried flushing it out and this, that, and the other, and it, you know, it's, I don't know. I guess I could take somewhere and have it professionally done, I guess. But it eats up the blades on the water pump. And so it's, you know, I've had like 3 water pumps on it, and I thought it was a water pump going out because it started spewing out some water, but apparently it's that pinhole in that pipe. So I don't know if I should just replace that. I mean, I guess that would be a good starting point, you know, and see what happens, because I really need that truck for doing this other kind of stuff. I wish I had me about a little 6x12 trailer I could use enclosed for that kind of stuff, and not have to put any of this stuff in my truck, and then that way I could just hook up to it with this truck and boogie out. I even thought about getting more into this kind of stuff and less into lawn care, as far as hands-on. So like with this new guy that we're looking at bringing on, you know, maybe having him or somebody kind of absorb the work that I do in the business, let Elro and them keep doing what they do, and me just kind of get away from the, you know, the everyday thing of it. Essentially be 2 different businesses. So I don't know, you know, if I want to do that. I like piddling with building stuff. I really do enjoy that, because it's something different every time. I mean, lawn care, you do the same thing on a different property. But you know, the handyman kind of stuff, you know, it's a ceiling fan, then it's a toilet, then it's a deck, you know, then it's some flooring, or, you know, fixing a faucet or a garbage disposal, or you know, whatever the case might be. And it's just a little bit different, generally speaking. So anyway, I don't know, those are just some far out things that I've given some thought to and some consideration to. I don't know, you know, that I'll actually ever pull the trigger on any of that stuff. I just like to do different things. And I told somebody one time, I said, if I had 9 lives, we don't get that. We get, you know, 1 life. And but if I had 9, I said I would probably give every one of them to a different career. You know, now your calling in life is your calling. You know, I know that, you know, we're talking hypothetically here, that in another life I'm not called to ministry or whatever, in as much as it's a full-time vocation. You know, but I mean, I don't know, man. I like doing different stuff. I'm not gonna live long enough to do all the things that I would like to do work related. You just don't get to do them all. So anyway, that's that. So hey, I'm gonna get off of here, and I'm actually gonna go in here and look at wood prices real quick. I'm curious now. So hey, I do appreciate y'all tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this little ride along, I guess. And my prayer for you is always the same, that the Lord might richly bless you, and that you might see all of your blessings as from Him. Hope you have a great day.